Have you been hearing about the risk to reward ratio and now you're kind of just scared to do anything thinking it might just destroy your body? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you why you should not be as worried about that as you think you should be. What's going on, guys? My name's Eric Buikema and the Saiyan Lifestyle, and I put out videos on YouTube every Wednesday and every Saturday dedicated to your goal of gaining that muscle you want and that masculine physique that is so going to help you regain your confidence and just feel overall better about yourself. Now, as you may know, like a couple weekends ago, I was at this certification called the CFSC, or Certified Functional Strength Coach, level 1 only, and he said something about a risk to reward ratio, where he said that the back squat was actually the worst exercise you could do for anyone. Like, I'm pretty sure he compared it to like being worse than nuclear war, which I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other exercises or other things I could put in as being as bad as nuclear war. But he said the risk to reward ratio is skewed out of proportion. I asked him why, and he said, well, you're not supposed to put a heavy load on the lower back, and guess what you're doing with the squat? Well, guys, here's my opinion on this. The squat is not the worst exercise of all time. There's actually a lot of other exercises I could put in that category. But today's video, I'm going to explain to you what the risk to reward ratio is and what it means for you when it comes to getting that muscular physique you so want. So guys, what is the risk to reward ratio? Maybe I should explain to you now before we get further into the video. The risk to reward ratio is pretty much that. Obviously, for every exercise you do, there's going to be a reward, but also a risk. Like deadlift, it's going to be great for building up a lot of lower body strength, as well as just like overall body strength. But it's going to carry a significant risk to like your low back if you perform it incorrectly. Or even things like the squat can help you develop a really strong lower body, but if you perform it incorrectly, it could injure your hip like I did, or your knee. Same thing with the bench press, great for upper body strength, but if you perform it incorrectly, it's going to injure you. See guys, for every exercise, there's going to be a risk to it. There's a risk that you could injure yourself if you're doing it improperly. And I see a lot of beginners doing this, like doing a lot of movements improperly. But then there's also an incredible reward when it comes to exercise too, like I said. With the deadlift, you're building up incredible full body strength. With the bench press, awesome upper body strength, and with the squat, incredible lower body strength. So, simply put, the risk to reward ratio means that for every exercise, there's a certain amount of reward, but there's also a certain amount of risk too that comes with it. Because exercise can also be dangerous too, but it also carries tremendous reward. So now guys, what does the risk to reward ratio mean within coming to your training? Well, since you know now that there's a risk to every single exercise out there, that should make you a little bit smarter about the exercises you choose to incorporate into your routine. Like for instance, when Robert Oberst said the risk to reward ratio for the deadlift was a complete joke, what he's talking about is how many people get lower back injuries from the deadlift because they do not perform it correctly. So if you have lower back pain, lower back issues, I would definitely not do deadlift. And just on the video here, if you have shoulder problems, I would definitely not do the bench press. And I would also not do the overhead press either. So you have to be really smart about things like that. If you have knee problems, definitely doing like things like leg extensions and squats probably not going to be a smart idea for you. But it's also based around like what are you training for. If you're training for like just overall mass gain, strength gain, then yes, things like bench press, overhead press, squat, and deadlift are going to be great exercises for you. But then if you're not training to like get size or strength, and maybe you're just like trying to get in better shape, have a few injuries, and maybe the squat and those big combat exercises may not be the best thing for you to do. You have to be smart with your training. Like I said, if you have shoulder issues, then doing things that aggravate the shoulder are probably not going to be beneficial for you. You end up having more risk than a reward to it. So now my take on the subject as the risk reward relates to you, I would definitely set up exercises and workouts that are going to benefit you directly. For me personally, I do the bench press, squat, deadlift, overhead press, big compound movements because that's part of my goal. I'm trying to gain a lot of strength and muscle. I'm a powerlifter, so it fits what my goals are. For you, your goals might be different. If you just want to get an overall better general shape, then maybe you have a few injuries in your past, then doing things that risk injuries like that are probably not going to be the best. For me, I blew this shoulder out around this time last year doing a bench press. Then doing like anything pressing, like vertical, like horizontal or vertical pressing was just not an option for me. I had to train around that. That's what I mean by smart training. So if you do have injuries, definitely train around those and don't do anything that's going to risk it for potential reward. Be smart with your training. Okay, now for the last part of this video. What does the risk to reward ratio mean for you? And over the weekend I was talking to a client I'm currently coaching. I was talking about the risk to reward ratio, what it means for him. I mentioned how at a certification I was at, they called the barbell back squat, the one I do all the time, as one of the worst exercises of all time. Then I started talking about the Joe Rogan podcast with Robert Oberst. I'm not gonna say anything about Robert Oberst, okay? The weights he's lifting, I can only dream of myself lifting those. And he's like, dude, all the exercises you told me to do, well, like, they say are bad, you're telling me to do. Are you trying to destroy me? And I was like, hey, wait, just wait a moment, cool your jets, okay? So I had to tell him, for the average ordinary person, you don't really need to worry about risk to reward. As long as you're doing the exercises correctly, you don't need to worry about it. Because in the certification, when they're talking about the barbell back squat being one of the worst exercises of all time for you, what they're talking about is that a lot of people have lower back issues, and putting the weight on your back, which puts a tremendous amount of pressure on your lower back, is not good for you. But let me tell you this, they were training the U.S. Women's Olympic ice hockey team. Those are world-class athletes. Of course, when it comes to training world-class athletes, you gotta kind of mind the risk-reward ratio a little more than the average person. Like, I mean, these are people who are practicing their craft all day long. That's gonna put a different shear on your body than just doing a regular day job. And with Robert Oberst, the guy is practicing the deadlift for even 5 times a week because that's where the competition lives. And even being his size puts an enormous strain onto his body. So I would not just freak out just too soon. For the average ordinary person who is healthy and doesn't have like any terrible physical ailments like a bad hip, bad back, bad knee, or bad shoulder, you don't really need to worry about the risk to reward ratio as long as you are performing the exercises correctly. So guys, I hope that calms you down a little bit, that it's not going to be that big of a deal to you as long as you are performing them correctly. Because obviously, if you perform an exercise incorrectly, you're going to injure yourself. That's just how it works. But in my opinion, average everyday person who is not an Olympic level athlete or a pro strongman putting that amount of shear on their body, they really don't need to worry about risk to reward ratio. And adding on to the CFSC, which is the certification I was at, when it comes to those Olympic level athletes, you really are thinking about risk to reward because you want them to be able to play for a long time and you want to win a gold medal. And with pro strongmen, you want to be able to lift a lot of weight. And just any pro athlete, you need to be thinking about this because these are pro athletes. Just doing what they do every single day puts that shear on their body. The average everyday person that sits around and just has time to rest, not going to be that big of an issue. So just like I told my clients, you don't need to really freak out about the risk to reward ratio. It's going to be completely okay. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit me up with one of these. If not, well, screw you. And also, if you have any comments or any topics you want me to cover in a future video, let me know in the comment section down below. And also, before I say subscribe for more content coming soon, if you guys have any more questions related to getting masculine and muscular physique, all you need to do is go to my Facebook group, hit join, and then also like the links down below. And go follow me on Instagram too. Hit me up in my DMs too if you really want to build that physique. But anyways, to my future and current badass Saiyans out there, keep kicking ass. Subscribe, more content coming soon, and I will see you later.